when I speak, should I look at you or should I look at the camera?
Welcome to Music Causation. We're already ready to go. If you haven't joined us before, Music Causation, we're on YouTube and Facebook at Rhode Island Broadcasting. We are live also on Twitter at Broadcasting RI, and of course Twitch at RI_broadcasting and Trovo Live at Rhode Island Broadcasting. All live every Monday. And Steve, we got another guest.
Yeah, I'm going to have another great show today. And I just want to say most Mondays. We'll be here most Mondays.
Yeah, I mean, we like to think that there's going to be a line of people for the next 52 weeks, which coincides with 1 of 52, like always.
Yeah.
And, give us a little bit of information about that.
Yeah, so happy to be here, Ron. Thanks for having us. So we do have a great guest today we'll get to in a few minutes. And 1 of 52 is a very simple concept. What we do is we go out, we ask people to take a minimum of one action in 1 week of the year to help end hunger. There's no fees or dues to join us. You simply just a gentlewoman's agreement to say, yes, count me in. And that's basically all there is to it. And it is an ongoing campaign. We do ask for one action annually. And you can do anything from a food drive at one of your gigs, making a small donation. Although it's based around music and arts, we've opened it up so that people from all walks of life can use whatever their talent is to help end hunger. So very simple, yet a very powerful campaign. We started in Rhode Island over 30 years ago, and now we're up and running in several states. And we actually have more than 52 weeks accounted for in Rhode Island, so now we're going to start breaking it out into the communities. And what I love about that is, when people ask me, where can hunger come to an end? And there's really only one answer, and that answer is within the community. So we're going to get very granular and get right down into each community and try to create what we call food security and try to make food secure communities in Rhode Island.
Absolutely. So, here at Rhode Island Broadcasting, we do a lot of podcasts and stuff like that, but this is a little different than what you normally see on the channel. What happens here is every time you see an ad, every time people donate bits or stars or whatever it may be, all of that goes towards the cause of ending hunger. And I gotta tell you, I feel good about it. It's the thing that drives me to keep going now because of this thing that just hangs over so many people and so many communities.
Exactly.
And we're trying to do something about it, and we can't do anything about it without your help. So if you can, donate some bits, donate some stars. 100%, we don't take a penny. Even the ads, if we make a penny off the ad, we send that on its way. So.
And we'll have a direct link up on the screen here. You can
throughout the entire show.
Donate directly to the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. And when you participate in the 1 of 52 Hunger Network, which you don't have to be a member to be on the show, we're inviting local musicians to come play original music with us so we can showcase them. But if you're going to be here, you might as well join because you're already taking that action.
Right.
So we recommend the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. If you don't already have a food pantry or maybe your local church that you're donating to, and we'll have a link that you can donate directly to them. You can also go to my website to learn more about it, which happens to be down at the moment, 1of52.net. Yeah, we're having a little technical difficulty there, but it'll be back up and running soon. But just go on Facebook and search the 1 of 52 Hunger Network.
Right. There's always a link.
You'll come right to it.
Or just head down to your local food pantry and help them there.
Stop donating. Exactly.
So we have a great guest. We were talking and we were, before the show, and it's like everybody is just ready to go. And I know he's anxious to get on, so let's invite Christian Calderon to the show. Here we go. How you doing, Christian?
Great. How you doing, Ron?
Well,
It's been a whirlwind. I've never been so excited to do pretty much anything, you know, until this came along, and I'm like, wow, this is mind blowing. And you know, talking to Steve when I first met him, it's like he didn't even get the words out before it's like, I'm in.
Well, I could tell I walked in and you were watching Nate.
Yes, Nate Causation.
Nate play some music at AS220, and I could just see how excited you were by original music. And yeah, it's a wonderful combination of a lot of great things right here.
It's all genres too. Like I listen to so much different music, and every time that I listen to somebody else that for the first time, I get that excitement, and it's so nice. I just had a conversation with a gentleman upstairs, you know, from the studio, about Rhode Island music. It's fantastic, and it doesn't matter what genre it is. There's so much talent in Rhode Island.
we've got an amazing music.
It's
scene.
fantastic.
Well, I agree with that.
And some unbelievable venues. Unbelievable.
Absolutely.
You know, the Pump House, there's all these breweries now. There's the Java Madness. And, you know,
But you can't forget some of the long-standing ones, like the Parlor in Providence, the Skew,
yes, and we featured music from those
AS220.
places.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matt Lupo's on.
Lupo's, the Met Cafe. I used to do sound there for many years.
Right. I even go back to the days of JR's Fast Lane.
Sure.
So I go back a little ways.
I remember wanting to go to JR, so I was a little too young.
Yeah,
Hearing the
I'm getting long
stories.
in the tooth. So what we want to know is you have a couple of things that are going and coming up and stuff like that. So we're going to be talking about, you know, your music career and, you know, just some of the things that you're doing for the public, you know, and of course tying it all into the Hunger Network, and of course what you do goes hand in hand. Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, the programming that you do?
Well, sure. So as a profession, I am the Deputy Director of Naval Works Blackstone River Valley.
Right.
And we are a CDC who works in Northern Rhode Island. CDC in this context means Community Development Corporation. And it's kind of purposely general. CDCs do a lot of great work, and they often specialize in different areas, but what we specialize in is affordable housing. So when we talk about homelessness and hunger, it goes hand in hand with stable housing and affordable housing. So we develop and then manage many units in Woonsocket, North Smithfield, and Burrillville. And, you know, we have some pipeline projects in some other municipalities in Northern Rhode Island.
Awesome. So, like I said, the things that you do for housing really ties into the hunger.
Well, of course.
Because you're basically looking at the same people, you know, that whether they're struggling or they're losing their jobs because of downsizing or whatever it may be, you know, still lingering COVID effects of businesses.
Right.
So there's a lot of factors that tie into all of this stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, the factors are amazing because when you look at housing, and even people that have existing housing and they're relatively stable there, you know, the cost of running a home and running a family is just staggering.
Yeah.
By the time you pay the mortgage or the rent, the utilities, then the medical bills, and then on and on and on. By the time you get to finally putting food on the table, the struggle is real. And
inflation has made everything compounded.
Prices just keep going up. And, you know, we interview a lot of folks, and the Rhode Island Community Food Bank is so deep into the community. And it's so heartbreaking when you hear stories about mothers that actually skip meals just to make sure their kids are fed.
Right.
So this is what this is all about. We call the show Music Causation because it's all about cause and effect. And what we need to do is we need to get to the point where nobody is struggling both for housing and for hunger. But hunger is eminently solvable, like immediately solvable. All we need to do is help create the political will to make it happen, because food is plentiful. And just because it costs money doesn't mean nobody should have food at any time. So what we're doing is bringing awareness to that. And so glad to have you here today, Christian, to talk about
Thanks,
this
Chief.
related subject. And you're a relatively new 1 of 52 member. And we got a couple of shows coming up that tie right into this. So
Well, I want to give James Toomey a nod and a
yes.
appreciative shout out for introducing us. James is, the drummer with me in the band High Plains, and he said, I was playing an acoustic gig recently, and he said, "Oh, would you be interested in doing sort of a cross promotion for hunger?" And that's where I met you, Steve, and learned about it. So I'm just thrilled to be part of it, and thank you, James.
Yeah, and James and I work together. He's the marketing director for the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council. We mentioned the Met, and the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council is actually the impetus behind the Rhode Island Music Hall of Fame. Yeah. They actually set that up originally, and James was a huge mover and shaker behind making the Hall of Fame happen. So yeah,
and don't forget about his podcast and record label too.
Where the living room used to be.
That's right.
How Rhode Island can you get? I love that.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
I used to go to the living room.
Oh yeah.
It's called Where the Living Room Used to Be.
Oh my God,
so that's a great tie.
It's a great title. It's so Rhode Island. But James is essentially an historian who is just cataloging hour and a half long interviews with local musicians that span generations
and national musicians
and national, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's just such a great catalog of you mentioned before, Ron, the great Rhode Island talent, original music talent here. It's really amazing, and it has little to do with being nationally popular or not. I hear people complain, "Oh, there's no good music," and then they know the people who complain about that don't often go out or never go out to see music, because there's so many great bands playing all around at the venues we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and you mentioned Nate earlier. He's done a jam sessions for us, and he's done music on blast. So we aired a couple of his videos, but it's expanding. Ever expanding the music that we're bringing to these people. I mean, we've seen a lot of people that have been making music for so many years, and people that are just recently doing it.
Oh, sure.
And there's so much creativity throughout all these decades of such talented people.
There's such great young bands out there right now.
Oh, there is. There's so many. And, we are here for them.
So glad to be part of it.
And we would love them to join us.
Yeah, feel free to contact us.
Absolutely.
We'll book you for an upcoming show. And that being said, without further ado, we'd love to hear one of your tunes.
Absolutely.
Okay, sure. I do not fall into the category of a young performer, unfortunately. I'm going to play a song first called Making Sense and Taking Vows. Sorry. I wrote this a few years ago, and it was featured on an old band, the Lincoln Tunnels recording, but I'm going to play it solo here. Lost a lot of love and I spent a lot of patience. Where did I put my imagination down? I can use it here right now. Too much time making sense, taking vows. Rearview mirror ain't the way that I'm going. Keep my eyes straight ahead, hoping to see the signs of where I'm headed now. Get too much time making sense, taking vows. Tell me a lie and don't give me no reason. The fallen leaves and the change of the seasons now scare me to death somehow. Too much time making sense, taking vows. I've seen too many things and my head start reeling, wearing me down till I got no feeling left. Fire without a sound. You're too much time making sense, taking vows. Well, from where you stand, how does that look now? Too much time making sense, taking vows. Not a child. I'm grown up now. These things take me back to the times when I held you like remains of a fire. When you go back and see what's left, scattered all on the ground. You're too much time making sense of taking vows. I've lost too many lives and I spent all my patience. Where'd I put my imagination down? I can use it here right now. You're too much time making sense and taking vows. From where you stand, how does that look now? Too much time making sense and taking vows. Not a child. I'm grown up now.
That was fantastic.
Nice.
That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Is that Martin?
This is a Martin.
Wow, beautiful guitar and the tone is
00015. Oh yeah, I love this.
Awesome. What a sound.
My wife bought it for me.
Very cool.
So how did that song come about? Because I can almost feel like it feels intense to me. I mean, I know with music, it's what you get out of it. You know, everybody's different. Everybody gets something
Sure.
different out of it. But I feel that song is really deep. And I don't know if it's just me or.
Well, that's
if it
good.
was
That's great to
intended on.
hear. Well, you know, I'm a lyricist. I guess I try to. It's nice when the lyrics resonate with people. Like that means a lot to me. So,
Yeah, no, it did.
so
It
that's wonderful to hear. I don't love talking about what my songs are about. Some of them are about specific things. Other songs have verses about certain things and I
Right.
squish them all together. I mean, that song's called Making Sense and Taking Vows. You know, it basically, if you had to summarize it, growing up Italian Catholic in Rhode Island, there's a lot of, you know, having to do what is the prescribed way to do it.
Right.
And there's all kind of vows, you know, soft vows and hard vows you make growing up. So I
Right.
suppose it's just about moving beyond that a little bit and not letting that define you. So, and then it has some other personal things in the verses that I won't really get into. If
No, that's fine. That's fine. You know, because
I've never spoken so much about that song before.
Well, see,
That's why we're here.
that's what we do. You know, it's like, you know, there's always something that interests me when talking to a musician or a writer or something, and they're, you know, that just means that there's a connection,
Yeah,
you know, that you're making with the listeners. And, you know, because I got it, I feel it, so I can't be the only one on the planet. You know, there's got to be somebody else.
I wrote the song for you, Ron,
Yeah.
specifically
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you.
I love that.
I didn't know it at the time, but now I realize.
Right. See, I get it now. So, you know, it'd be nice if everybody wrote a song for me,
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
Actually, though, that, you know, it's funny because some of the songwriters I admire, sometimes or I love, I should say, when you hear their songs, sometimes you do think it's specifically for you
Yes.
Yeah.
because it resonates
Right.
with a feeling or
Right.
some kind of emotion, and I suppose that's what makes certain music great and timeless.
Yeah, that's what makes all music great. And you know, I love that Ron said it, you know, moved them deeply. And you know, when I grew up in the industry, playing a bass player in bands, you know, just a lot of rock and roll. I was a roadie for many years. But you know, the reason that I'm so passionate about connecting music and the cause of ending hunger is when I observed early on the George Harrison and Rabbi Shankar Bangladesh concerts for Bangladesh, and I usually mention this in every show because that's where the roots of this come from.
Oh, wow.
And you know, even though all through the years I observed, you know, Live Aid, We Are the World, all the great work Harry Chapin did with his World Hunger Year programs, you know, Farm Aid. You know, I may be a dreamer, but I never dreamed that I'd be able to produce a concert of that magnitude. And really, why would I even try? It's already been done and done so well. And that's where I came up with the idea of the 1 of 52 Hunger Network. And I was like, well, if I'm not going to be able to do that, what can I do? So we came up with this idea to do something that's much more grassroots, you know, much more based deeply in the community. So if we got many, many people taking many, many actions over a long period of time, the grassroots of that aspect is a very, very powerful thing. And I don't know if my fellow 1 of 52 member, our fellow 1 of 52 member, Jen Chapin might be tuning in, but I had a great conversation with her about her being able to pick up the phone and my envy of her being able to get Bruce Springsteen on the phone, you know, and we were joking about it.
Is Bruce watching right now?
Let's hope so.
I'd be too nervous to play guitar if he was watching right now.
My cohort, Dave Goldstein, wants to get Bruce on the phone and have him do a concert for us. And, you know, Bruce he's always done great work for Hunger. And, you know, Jen and I were joking about it. I was like, oh, you can just pick up the phone and get Bruce on the line. And she said, well, first of all, Steve, it's not that easy. You know, yes, I have a lot of connections due to my dad's influence over the years, but she paid me this unbelievable compliment. And to this day, I'm still in awe by it. She said she was really just blown away by what we had going on with a very grassroots connection to the community and how we get people to commit. You know, for 30 years now, people are going out and just playing their hearts out, literally, to help the local food pantries and local food banks. and her admiration of this 1 of 52 concept that we've been building over the years just, blew me away. I'm not worthy, and but she's
But-
right. It's a
but-
very powerful thing.
That's the power of a grassroots movement. It's the power of lunch breaks and people trying to get in touch with me.
I noticed that was a spam risk. I think.
No, that's work. No, that's work.
Okay.
But
Come on, that was probably all the fans saying, "Hey, are you on a show right now?" Yeah.
But I think it points to the power of music as a connector,
Exactly.
and there's really nothing that transcends economic, ethnic, geographical boundaries like music. I mean, everybody loves some aspect of music, and music often brings so many different kinds of people together. And I just, if I didn't specifically mention something that I'm very proud of that my organization does, that we need to connect at this level this summer. And I'm not that involved in it, so I take zero credit, except I'm a huge supporter, and I've played some supportive shows. But we have 11 amp summer concert series in Woonsocket, and boy, we average four to 500 people a show. It's a free concert series sponsored by the Levitt institution, who sponsors in music in what they call music deserts, or places that don't have a lot of public areas for music. And we've had so many great national Grammy-winning artists perform as headliners, and then we also have some wonderful local musicians play, and we just have these crowds that bring together people from all over the state and all over the city who don't normally get a chance to stand next to each other in a mutual experience of enjoying or dancing. And
I love that.
And it opens people up in a way that I don't know that anything else does. And we're, as a nonprofit organization, we're always having sponsor organizations come, and they every concert series we have a sponsor kind of talk about what they do on stage, and then garner some support. So possibly that's something that you'd be involved in doing, so we can
I'd love that.
talk about that afterwards.
Yeah, if you don't already have your lineup for this year,
I don't think we have all of our sponsors set up.
I would absolutely be there and be happy to do that. And that would be a huge experience for us. We're also going to be at the Rhode Island Folk Festival this year. They
great.
give us a sponsor table there. We make it a food drive when we're there. So yeah, that is a beautiful thing. And thank you. We'll definitely take you up on that. And I was at the event last year. I went and saw a fellow 1 of 52 member there, Mark Cutler.
Oh yeah, Mark's played.
Mark's
He's
been
great.
doing unbelievable, and he often does food drives at his shows. Very unassuming, just, hey, come on down, come see my show and bring some food items.
Yeah.
And
Mark
really
is
the spirit of the
Mark's a
whole
Rhode
concept.
Island treasure. He's
He
just
really is.
great.
And
Great
he really
songwriter.
gets it. He asks people to bring food to his gig, then he just delivers it to the food pantry. Muss, no fuss. It's like the perfect scenario of exactly what I'm looking for with this 1 of 52 concept. And you mentioned earlier there's going to be this upcoming summer series of back porch concerts or front porch concerts or front lawn concerts.
The Providence Porch Series, is coming up June 10th, and
the day before my birthday.
oh, there you go. So
Happy birthday!
happy
in
birthday,
advance.
happy early birthday! And,
I might have to be there.
oh yeah,
Exactly.
they're in the process now of finding the porches. You don't say the porches are the venues. So I think the idea is people walk around and just go visit front yards and see bands play. My friend Jen Long and her husband Brian put on something like this last year, but I think this is a different. I think Providence is doing it in a larger kind of context this year. So that's going to be so much fun. I think I'm going to do it with my band.
Great, I love that. And here's the tie-in. Then Bristol also does a front porch concert
Oh,
later in the year.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I noticed this year, it's been going on for a few years, but I'm really becoming aware of it this year on August 26th. It's the International Front Porch Concert Series. So there's really 3 of these types of events coming up. And let's announce it today on Music Causation. I'm personally going to put a drive on to ask people to make it to be mini food drives. Basically, any of these gigs, you don't have to be a 152 member, although we certainly invite you to be, but any of these gigs, just invite your neighbors to bring food, non-perishables, as they gather for these small events. And then take it upon yourself to take the food to the local food pantry afterward. Imagine how much food we'd be able to gather if all these 3 events and all the artists were these just made it a point to say, hey, come on, hear us play. And by the way, bring some non-perishables with you.
That's great.
So we're announcing that today, that if you're participating in any of these gigs, make that a thing. So
I definitely
want to
will.
make this go viral.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. There you go. There's the first one, first commitment, and it should snowball from there, because that's really the whole concept. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything huge. Like you hear me tell the story that I know I'm not going to produce another Live Aid, but if we all do something, and hunger is solvable in this country, there's no reason why hunger should exist. And as you've heard me say before, if you're tuning in our show, we waste 40% of the food in this country. If we even got that aspect under control, we'd be well on our way to food security. So all the solutions are out there. Let's help stop food waste. If that's anywhere in your purview, anywhere within your power of influence, work on that. If you're doing shows, just like Christian just mentioned, at his gig, bring some food items, get it to the local food pantry. And speaking of upcoming gigs, and one of our guests on April 17th, not next week, the following week, J. Michael Graham's going to be here live with the studio. If you're watching, I just texted him, said to tune in. So this is the seat you'll be sitting in there, Michael. He's going to be performing his CD release party. Remind me of the name, Live from Little Roadie. Is that the name of his compilation?
I believe it is, yes.
I have it on my phone here. Let me just remind myself.
On Foolproof Brewery on the 21st, Friday night the 21st.
Yeah, I lost it on my phone.
I know I'll be there.
You're performing with Annie from your band.
Yes,
Plains, right?
yes, with my musical partner, Annie Janig, and I will be performing, and really looking forward to open up for Mike. And
that's April 21st, Friday, I believe.
Yes.
And Foolproof Brewery, actually, coincidentally, and I absolutely love this, they actually do an ongoing food drive there. They always have a food box out to do collections. So anytime you go to Foolproof Brewery, bring a non-perishable. Absolutely love that. Ties right in beautifully with the whole 1 of 52 concept. And also, if you bring non-perishables to donate there, any time of the year, they'll take $2 off your bill from that night.
That's nice. I didn't know that.
So that's something new. There's a news flash for y'all. Anytime you go to Foolproof, bring some non-perishables, get $2 off your bill. So this night, J. Michael Graham's going to be doing a CD release event. It's going to be live at Foolproof on April 17th. Michael's going to be here live to also promote the show and do some of his great original music. And just while I'm here, we're going to announce that our next guest, next Monday, is going to be a Floridian. We're going to be bringing him in remotely, and his name is Bill Metz. And Bill's a fellow 1 of 52 member, and it just does amazing work all the time with his friend Chikula, who we had on as a guest recently, our second show, I believe. And they do ongoing food drives at all their events, and they have a couple of great events going on down in Florida. And Chuck calls his events Singing Out for Food, and you'll be hearing a lot more about that. And hopefully he'll be involved with the International Front Porch event on August 26th here in Rhode Island. So good stuff coming up.
All right, so before we get to another song, I first want to thank Chakra for being here, sending good vibes
Nice.
to everybody. He is watching us on Twitch at Chakra_power, so we got to give him a shout out.
Cool.
He regularly
Tuesday?
sees all the shows from Rhode Island Broadcasting, so one of the most loyal followers there is
Where's
out
he
there.
located?
Seattle.
In Seattle.
All right.
Beautiful.
So
You're national.
So,
We
hey.
are national.
you know, we got them from all over the place. Not only Seattle, not only Providence, but all over the world. Istanbul.
You have a regular viewer from the Philippines, I believe.
We
huh?
have a regular viewer from the Philippines, Sarah. She watches the shows. We have a regular viewer from Indonesia in Syria.
Well, come on. Whenever you travel anywhere, you run into a Rhode Islander.
Exactly.
I've never been on any trip where I haven't.
There you go. See?
That's someone I went to
Everywhere.
school with. Or,
Everywhere.
I love it.
Chakra, thank you. Like I said, he's watching us on Twitch, which is RI_broadcasting. You can also watch us on Twitter at BroadcastingRI and Facebook and YouTube at Rhode Island Broadcasting, as well as Trovo Live. And he's giving a thumbs up. You know, we got to give him shout outs as well. And don't forget, fans out there, anything that you donate during this show goes to the food bank here in Rhode Island. If you don't want to do it on this show, please head down to your local food bank, whether it's in Seattle or whether it's in Florida or anywhere else in the world, and donate either time or money, because everything helps. So thank you, Chakra, once again. Can we get another song, Christian?
sure.
Like I was so moved by that last song, I'm just dying for another one.
I hope you like this one. I'm going to play one now that is going to be on the upcoming High Plains album.
Very cool.
And I'm not singing this. Annie's going to sing it, and she does a much better job than I do. But it's a little different, I think, when I sing it. And I like the song. The bass player in High Plains and my longest musical colleague, Jeremy Sensor, kind of came up with the chord progression for the verse, and then I took it over the weekend and finished the song. So Annie's gonna end up singing this, but I like this song, and it's called "A Fine Place on My Own." I'll do it a pick. Oh, how my heart aches. Just give me a sign, or just give me a break. 'Cause I don't have the time, or maybe I just don't have the strength to stand here waiting for you to learn from your mistakes. Oh, no, 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 no. Well, I know that the time has come, because I can't understand where it's gone. Find me a fine place on my own. I'm working on a heart attack. Ain't it funny how my heart fights back against these wicked ways, yeah. Oh, how my heart displays, yeah. You're no more, no, 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 no. You seem so concerned. Oh, yeah, you seem so contrite. But the morning silence speaks volumes of a deafening night, yeah. Well, I know that the time has come, because I can't understand where it's gone. Find treasures all that you have ever known are all just spoils of war. But what's won by violence from another's hands, yeah, can never truly be yours. 'Cause I don't have the time, or maybe I just don't get the strength to stand here waiting for you to learn from all your mistakes. Oh no, 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 no. Well, I know that the time has come, 'cause how can this feeling be wrong? To find me a fine place, to get me some headspace. Find me a fine place on my own. On my own. On my own.
Very nice.
So good.
Beautiful.
You know, I did do my homework, and I did listen to that song.
We had a live version of that on our website. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's better when anything's.
You did a fine job.
You did great. Trust me. My favorite song that I listened to out of the three songs that I did listen to, Undone.
Ah, cool.
Loved it.
Great.
Loved it. Loved
Featuring
it. Loved it.
a Frankie Ranks guitar solo that is to die for.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Oh, cool.
You know, if you get a chance, get out there, check out High Plains. We have the places where you can find them, Facebook and YouTube, right there on the screen. So YouTube at High Plains 2697, and on Facebook at High Plains RI. So check that out. Go on there, support, you know, the Rhode Island music scene. And if you're from Seattle, go out there and support, you know,
Yellow
Seattle
Food Pantry.
scene.
Exactly.
You know, and Chopper, if you go listen to bands, tell them, hey, get on, you know, Music Causation, you know, and to help
We can,
fight hunger, and we can help you there in Seattle.
yeah, we could bring them
Of
on
course.
remotely, just
So-
like we've done with the folks in Florida.
Absolutely. So talking about High Plains, where are you going to be playing upcoming?
Okay. We're playing this Friday coming up, April 7th. We'll be playing at Askew.
Awesome.
Yeah, with Barn Burning, our friend Anthony and his band, and two traveling bands, one from Connecticut and one from Long Island. Don't know them yet, but I've heard their music and like them both. And
What time frame will you guys be going?
I think we're going on 3rd, so
Okay, cool.
that's probably around 11 o'clock or so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'd love to ask you, I've been there. I actually did a show, you know, a podcast show
Oh yeah,
from there.
absolutely.
And it was like a 3-hour thing, and I got to listen to all the bands and all the musicians, ranging in so many different genres. It was so fun. It was so fun.
Yeah, they put on a great everything over at Askew.
Yeah,
Wonderful club, wonderful
They're
owners.
They're so, you know, open with people. And,
Absolutely.
you know, from the wait staff, bartenders, you know, all the way up to the Queen Bee.
Yep.
You know, it was.
Yeah, they have
It was
quite a
fantastic.
range. They have, you know, it's just a great example of the inclusion that you feel as part of the music and arts community in Rhode Island. I mean,
Yeah.
they have music, they have comedy, they have drag shows, they have all kinds of stuff,
Everything.
and it's amazing. And you know, we talked about music and community, and I think I've been feeling it a lot lately, just how inclusive and welcoming it is to play music around here, and to see such great artists, and to play shows with such great artists, and to have such great friends who come to see you and come to see all the bands. And
Yeah,
it's just, musicians, fans, whatever you want, just the whole group, the club owners.
This
one-
Rhode Island scene is amazing.
Yeah.
And, before we're going to ask you to play one more song before we wrap up the show. But there was another connection where I saw High Plains was at the Mill Run Kitchen outdoor space.
Yes.
This past late fall, I think it was, we saw you over there. And it was a cool venue. And that's another connection. Now, is Mill Race directly connected to?
Yes. Yes. So NeighborWorks Blackstone River Valley, I talked about the affordable housing that we do. And I talked about our concert series. But we also do a range of other community development activities. We have youth programs, and the Mill Race Kitchen is part of our, business incubator entrepreneurship.
That's where I wanted to get to.
Trying to encourage folks who live with us, low-income folks in our housing, or people from the community. They can go and they can use our incubator kitchen to make anything they want.
Products, right?
To make food products. And
I love that connection, because not only are they producing food, which is directly related to people getting fed in our state, but the entrepreneurial aspect of that, of raising themselves up. If they're in hunger and poverty and they're going there, they're making food items, they're able to sell them as an entrepreneurial endeavor.
That's right.
I've been working to help end hunger in Rhode Island for 30 years plus. And I'll always do that work. There will always be that need for that work. However, we really need to go beyond charity, in the sense that we need to create what Bill Shore from Share Our Strength calls community wealth.
yes.
And this is where people literally lift themselves up from hunger and poverty by literally creating wealth within their community. And this is where the rubber meets the road. Small businesses, mom and pop places, Main Street, whether they have a brick and mortar place or if they're selling through the internet, this is an incredible opportunity that the community kitchen offers people to not only produce food that helps feed our neighbors, but to lift themselves up and create community wealth. I love that aspect.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. And that's really the mission of community development corporations. It's sort of the anti-gentrification argument, where gentrification aims to sort of extract value and wealth from a neighborhood, going into people's pockets outside the neighborhood. Our whole approach is to have an asset-based development. So you look at what's in a neighborhood, what can we support to help the neighborhood and the individuals build value, build wealth, build intergenerational wealth. And then you look at the gaps, like there is a food desert in Woonsocket. It's been sanctioned a food desert.
Yes,
and
exactly.
so
I know they're working to put a major supermarket in
absolutely,
the area.
And now
hasn't hit yet.
That's going to be great. But in the meantime, there aren't a lot of options, especially for fresh foods. So one of the cool things happening is that one of our partner organizations, Connecting with Children and Families, they're opening up a family resource center in one of our buildings, right next to my main office.
Wow.
And they're going to be bringing resources. It's going to be one-stop shopping, essentially, for families who need a range of support, whether it's connecting with childcare, whether it's getting on SNAP benefits. And there's going to be a food pantry there too.
Wow.
It's going to be this really
Is this
wonderful.
in that same complex? Is it?
No, it's right around the corner. So my
Okay.
office is on Front Street,
Yeah.
and this is on South Main Street. So, but it's like you can walk there within
That's
3
great.
minutes.
That's such great news,
Yeah, it is
Christian.
wonderful. It is
And-
great.
And this is so awesome having you here today. Because not only do Ron and I get to enjoy your music, beautiful and so uplifting, but I'm learning more about the work you folks are doing, and I'm just
Well, I don't
couldn't
ever,
be happy.
I don't ever get a chance to kind of combine my professional work life, and I won't call it professional music life because but I take it quite seriously.
And
So,
you do.
but two sides of myself that are equally as important and very deep within my
Yeah.
soul. So it's really nice to be able to talk about them both equally and freely, and they do sort of in some way connect.
Yeah,
and I
definitely.
think the community aspect that you've been talking about for 30 years and you've talked about a lot today, I think that's really where that interplay comes
Well,
in.
thank you so much for being here. And it's just like you're talking about the two sides of your world there. It's really, the old proverb is each wing of a bird. You need both wings to fly. And it's so great to be hearing you talk about that aspect of your work and your talent.
Oh.
Thanks, man. Thanks for being here.
Thank
Can
you.
we have one more song, please?
Sure.
Wait, before you
Wait,
do that,
wait,
I
okay.
still want to
Okay.
know more of the schedule that you have.
Oh, okay.
Because we just did the Ask You this Friday night.
So this Friday we're playing in Askew. On the 21st, Annie and I will be opening up for Michael with his great live recording, which I'm pretty sure was recorded live by my friend Randy from Newcastle Studios, who is another just wonderful local musician and local person in the industry. So that's exciting. I'm going to be playing the Providence Porch Fest on June 10th, but we're really going to kind of get away from playing live for a couple of months because we need to record our next album. Because every time a show comes up, we have to dismantle the studio, and so we really need to sort of hunker down and record. So I think in the fall we're going to start playing some festivals and some fall outdoor shows and stuff. But probably going to have a low-key summer. Maybe I'll play some acoustic gigs, and we just got to get this recording done because it takes a little while.
Great.
Right.
Looking forward to it.
Now, once again, the benefit shows that are coming up, like you have in Woonsocket, can you give more dates on this stuff that's coming?
Well, I will say, I don't know that the lineup's done yet, but have you heard of Shizafest, which is a benefit for my friend and so many people's close friends, Nick Idam. Chris Hansen is gonna put on the second one, and it's gonna be at the Parlor and at Dusk. And I forgot to mention Dusk before, which is another amazing local venue. And so I think that's August 26th and 27th.
Okay.
And whether or not I'm playing or not, I will be there both nights. It's just wonderful musicians, and Nick was a close friend of so many of us. So that, what other shows? Prov Fest is coming up. They moved it from early June to September, and that's a great time. Talk about music and community and arts.
Right.
The Prov Fest is a great time. It's thousands of people downtown Providence, and I actually really like the move to the fall. I think that'll work even better, and we may play there. They haven't quite, all these things aren't worked out yet.
Right.
Great. And just I did finally find it's Live from Little Roadie.
Live from Little Roadie.
J. Michael Graham CD.
And I think I'm pretty sure I was at that show when it was recorded, and Michael played very well. So I'm
going to hear you hooping and hollering in the background.
Yeah.
And then we have an upcoming 152. Our recent guest Al Olson has St. Andrew's Lutheran benefit concert coming up at Java Madness, and I'll have that date in a couple of seconds here. And it's coming up at the beginning of May. in May 6th, starting, I believe, around noon at Java Madness. And Al does at least 2 of these a year, does an amazing job, and Java Madness usually donates 10% of the food proceeds from the shows that day too. So
That's
a lot
great.
of great 1 of 52 and other local music coming up.
Yeah,
And
no,
we'll be
I hope
posting it.
to get to as many of these as I can.
Love
you know,
to see
'cause
you.
schedules, might not work out. I
Oh,
know
it's okay.
Fridays are bad because I do the sports show on Fridays, so I can't do anything about Fridays. But if somebody does record these, we would love to air them, and whatever the proceeds make, it goes right to that specific event. So so whatever charity they're doing it for, it
Sure.
goes to them.
Like
If that's available.
Yeah, like the 21st is going to be one of our events, so we'll be collecting food.
Yep.
And last time we played at Foolproof, we did the same thing, and
Right.
I know we gathered some. So
Yeah, and as I mentioned that night too, when you bring non-perishables, you get $2
Get a
off your bill.
Right.
So that's another
Please
reason.
help out there.
if you need an incentive, cheaper beer is a good
Yeah, for
incentive.
sure.
It used to work at the poll booths.
It's a good beer too. They
Yes.
have good beer there. Let me tell you.
Big props to Foolproof Brewing. All right, we both got to get back to work.
Yes.
So one more song, please.
All right. I'm going to play. What's the name of this song? I'm notoriously poor at remembering the name of it.
If you don't know, nobody does.
Mr. Finally. Time makes diamonds from coal. You can burn your coal to make fire. Ashes leave a trace and then wash away. Yes, they wash away. All this time I tried to slow down what's sped by. You're such a close friend of mine. What's been left behind? Hey, Mr. Finally, look what you've done to me. Happened so damn suddenly, what you did to me, I'm done. Hey, Mr. Finally, told me you'd catch up with me. Happened so damn suddenly, what they said you'd do, I'm done. Well, with your no too subtle ways and those evenings filled with haze, led to all those raucous nights that I don't remember. We held the world on a string, but I can't recall a thing, and now what remains? Mr. Finally, look what you've done to me. Happened so damn suddenly, what you did to me, I'm done. Hey, Mr. Finally, told me you'd catch up with me. Happened so damn suddenly, what they said you'd do, I'm done. Well, with my head so full of rage, poured my heart out on the page. You wrote shotgun in my version of the dream. Now it's as clear can be that we share culpability, but what matters, who's to blame? Time makes diamonds from coal, and I burn my coal to make fire. Ashes leave a trace and then wash away. Yes, they wash away. Hey, Mr. Finally, look what you've done to me. Happened so damn suddenly, what you did to me, I'm done. Hey, Mr. Finally, told me you'd catch up with me. Happened so damn suddenly, what they said you'd do, I'm done. Happened so damn finally, oh no, suddenly I'm done. Happened so damn suddenly, and now finally I'm done.
Absolutely
Beautiful.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Look, I hope everybody enjoyed the show out there. I first want to thank Christian for being here, bringing the information about, the NeighborWorks.
NeighborWorks, Blackstone River Valley.
There we go.
It's a mouthful.
It is. And I had a hard time with Mark Markrush. so what's that doing to me? But I thank you for being here. Fantastic music, fantastic information about all the things that are upcoming and all the things High Plains as well. I enjoy the music. I want to also thank, of course, Chakra for being here. It was great to have you once again to join us. And I know there's somebody else out there watching too that hasn't commented. But please, by all means, throw some comments there. Help the cause, whether it is for locally here in Rhode Island or anywhere that you are. Help the cause. And please donate stars, bits. It all goes 100% to the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. So please help us. And thank you everybody that has been on YouTube at Rhode Island Broadcasting, Facebook at Rhode Island Broadcasting, Trovo Live at Rhode Island Broadcasting, of course, Twitter at Broadcasting RI, and Twitch, where Chakra_Power is from. I got you, Chakra, I got you. At RI_Broadcasting, if you want to follow us there as well. Please follow. All the support we can get, we will take. If you wanna donate, or sponsor the show, you can also just email us at ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can give you all the information you need to know, whether it is me or Steve. We will gladly have the conversation. And please get on all our social media, including the Discord. Which Discord has terrible links. So we'll just kind of post that up there, and you can just get on there because that's ridiculous. But thank you everybody for being here. Steve, thank you again. We got 6
great
now.
Show. 6.
We are rolling.
Congratulations.
Good roll.
By the way,
Good roll.
For the month
Half
of
dozen.
March, it is the #1 show
Oh, no kidding.
on Rhode Island Broadcasting.
Wow, beautiful.
So #1 show.
Straight to number
Thank you
one.
so much. Thank you,
So,
Christopher.
Thank you both so much.
And
This
I
was
gotta do
fun.
a shout out to the line I made note of in that last song. As sure as can be, we share culpability. That's a great rhyme.
Thank you very
I
much.
love that.
That's great. So thank you everybody out there. We'll see you next Monday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, live, of course. So join us. Take care, everybody.